I'm going to show you 4 different super easy techniques for these bookmarks. Anyone can do these. They're really easy to do. So to start off with, I am using Stone Coat Countertops Art Coat Resin. This comes with a part A and part B. I've already mixed mine. This particular resin you mix equal parts, but other resins you might mix differently. So follow the instructions on the bottle. But I've already pre-mixed mine here. I love this resin because it has UV protection, so it won't yellow over time. So for this first one, I'm going to start with just some clear. Now these are really not large, so you don't need a ton of resin. So I'm putting just the clear in there. I'm going to spread this around a little bit. These are some bookmark molds. They're silicone that I got off of Amazon. And I don't know if you can see, I'll show you later, but they do have the little silicone piece sticking up to help make the hole for any ribbon or tassels that you want to add later. On this first one, I'm going to put some pressed flowers that I actually also got off of Amazon. You can, of course, press your own. You just want to make sure that they are fully dry. And I'm just going to use some of the smaller ones in here. This is definitely a whatever you prefer. And either side of this could be the top. So just pick a side and have the flowers all go in the same direction. So lots of little different cute flowers in here. I don't have a specific color combination that I'm trying to stick to or anything. I'm just using all these different little small ones. And you can, of course, use like tweezers or something for this if you have them. I tend to just brave it with my hands. All right, just a few more. You can absolutely overlap them too. Actually, I think this one I'm going to move over here. There we go. Okay. Now, one of the things I really love about this project are there's so many things that you can put into these bookmarks. You can put stickers, you can put all kinds of things. The flowers are just one of the things you can put in there. I'm going to go ahead and move the rest of these aside. And I'm going to add just a little bit more resin in here over those flowers. You can, of course, totally do this in layers if you'd like. Meaning come back and let this layer dry, then add some more. Just one word of caution, try not to go over your little piece sticking up or you will no longer have that hole for the tassel. However, if you do accidentally do that, you can easily drill a hole through it. So don't even worry if you do. Okay, that is our first one. That's really all there is to that one. So second one here, I'm going to start with some clear again. This time I'm putting in enough to fill the whole thing. All right. And I am going to, at this stage, hit both of these with a heat gun. You want to apply heat to get rid of any air bubbles. But with silicone molds, you generally don't want to use a torch or you can actually melt your mold. So I'm using a heat gun, also from Amazon. I'm just going to use this on low. And just gently get rid of some of those air bubbles. Okay. I don't see many air bubbles in there to begin with. It's actually a pretty warm room that I'm working in. So I'm now going to use some alcohol inks. I actually have 3 different kinds here. I just realized I have a Pinata White. This is a Wild Plum, which is Tim Holtz, I think. And then Brie Reese Lake Blue. I'm going to start off with a little bit of the blue. And word of caution on this, don't do too much. You really just need a few drops. Let's start with 3 drops of the blue. If you overdo it on the ink, then your resin can have some trouble curing. Now I'm going to get in here with the pink. Overlap in a couple places. So I have 4 drops of the pink in there. And then I'm going to finish it off with some of my white. And the white's the heaviest, so I like to do that last because it can actually push down that other ink and give you some really cool reactions. That is all there is on this one. You don't need to do anything else to it. And if there are any air bubbles, that alcohol ink will help pop them as well. If you want to, you could go in there with a toothpick and move the ink around to make kind of your own designs, but the ink will move on its own as it dries. So you don't even really need to do that unless you want to. All right, for our next one, we are going to go with some glitter. Now I've already pre-put some glitter in this resin, and the glitter that I'm using is from Just For You Online UK. It's called Chunky Mermaid Glitter. I love this stuff. It's beautiful. And I'm also going to use from Just For You Online UK some Chameleon Violet Blue powder. So this is a powder that looks pearl, but in different lights. It looks blue, and it's just beautiful. I've pre-mixed both of those. You could, of course, go solely with glitter if you want, but I think it'll be cool to have a combination of both of those. Glitter is heavier, so it does tend to sink to the bottom, just as a note as well. All right, this is the Chameleon Violet. And for anyone who's never used resin before, you only want to mix maybe 10% of your coloring with your resin. So there's not a lot of this in here, just tiny, tiny amounts that I'm working with. And I'm going to put some of this, and then I'm going to go back in with a little more of the glitter. Actually, you know what? I have some clear. I'm going to go in with a little more of the clear, I think. Let's fill this in. And some more glitter. I do like this glitter a lot. And you can, of course, use only glitter if you want. Really pretty. All right, I'm going to let that, you know what, just a little bit more here. Resin is self-leveling, so don't worry too much, but you do want to make sure that it does go all the way to the edges. So you can use a stick or something to do that. And of course, make sure it's on the other side of this little silicone piece sticking up. That's our glitter one. I'm really, really excited to see how that one dries. And then the fourth, we're just going to use some glitter that's actually colored with some of the resin pigments. This is Alumilite Blue Translucent Dye. So this is a liquid dye that goes into resin to color it. And this one is Illuma Dust Gold Mica Powder. So this one's a powder. And then I'll stick with some of the Chameleon Violet Blue for this one as well. I'm going to throw just a little more clear in here. These make such great gifts too, especially if you have readers in your life. I am an avid reader, so these will definitely come in handy. This is the blue dye. You'll notice that it really doesn't look metallic. And depending on how much of it you use, it'll be pretty transparent. If you only use a little bit, it'll be, you know, real light and transparent. And this is that Chameleon Violet Blue powder again. I'm going to use quite a bit. I'm going to use the rest of this in here. It goes very well with that blue dye. These two colors alone would look great together, but I am going to throw a little bit of the gold in there. I have a thing for gold and blue. Okay, I'm going with just a tiny bit more of the blue. These tiny little molds really do not take a lot of resin. Another really cool thing you can do is if you do a lot of resin projects, just have these molds on hand, and you can throw your leftover resin in there and just end up with some super cute, unique bookmarks. Okay, this is the gold. You probably can notice it looks metallic. And I'm just gonna put a little bit through here. Use this stick to push some things to the edge. Cool. I don't think I want to do much more than that on the gold. Now these last two I've not hit with my heat gun, and I'm going to re-hit this first one again one more time. So here we go with that. Okay, that is all there is to this step. Now we just let these dry, and I'm going to let these dry for over 24 hours. They will be dry to the touch in less than 24 hours. But before we actually handle them and put the tassels in and everything, I want to make sure that they are cured to the point where they're no longer soft and bending around. So I'm going to leave these for probably actually like 2, maybe even 3 days, though it is very warm right now, so they'll probably cure a little bit faster. We'll be back when they're all dry. We'll peel them out and we will put the little tassels in. All right, we're back. Our bookmarks are fully dry. I gave them actually several days, and I picked out some tassels that I thought would go well with each one. And these tassels I actually got in a huge pack on Amazon. So I'm just gonna peel these out. You can see how easily they come out of the molds. If you did get something like this where it's a little bit extra resin on the side, because I went over the top a little bit, you can easily just take some sandpaper and lightly sand that. It's not an issue. And we'll go ahead and look at the fronts and the backs of these. So this is the glitter gold and blue one. I love it. This is the one with the mermaid glitter in it. And here is the one with the alcohol ink. You can see that it's partially clear. And then of course our pressed flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and get these tassels in here, which can be a little bit difficult, but it's literally you just put it through and then thread that, and there you have it. All right, here are the bookmarks in the books. I think they look awesome, perfect size. I'm pretty sure the flowers are my favorite, but they're all super awesome. Thank you for watching Home Talk. We'll see you next time.